Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. Today we worked with the Castle Arts pencil set. It has 120 colors. And we drew an image that was inspired by one of my friend's artwork pieces. He made a cyclops for his stream. So I thought I would try to draw cyclops as well. And so that's what I did. If you like it, give me a thumbs up, like the video, comment down below, and subscribe. Give me a comment down below on what you'd like to see next, or what you'd like to see me do, or just whatever you're feeling. Thank you. See you in the next one. Okay, this is where we started with this image. I did a lot of the pre-drawing previously to recording. I had to cut a lot of imagery out for the video to be under the allotted time frame for this video, as it is permitted. And I didn't want to leave too much boring stuff that you wouldn't be able to see, as a lot of this I expected it to be a lot lighter, and so I didn't think the camera would really pick up on it. And I was doing this while I was doing other things that I couldn't have the video recording for, and so that's why there's also not audio for this, which is why we're doing the voiceover, is because I wanted to still get the content out and do the artwork, but I was busy doing things that I couldn't record for. So that's where we're doing this. In a moment you're going to see me use color on my little cyclops friend here, and I have some advice that I received on how to do that. I received it from one of the animators who worked on Chicken Run. He's a French Canadian man whom I really loved. He was very funny. He would call everyone lady and man because he never remembered anyone's names. He was just the funniest friend that I had. I really liked him as a teacher. He was really nice. He helped me with my animation, and he was really trying to inspire these students that just did not care. We were in a class with maybe 2 artists and 7 other students that just didn't want to be there. And he said that when you're coloring, you should always use 3 colors on any given area, and so I did try to follow that. I'm not sure how practical that advice is for a type of piece like this where you're just doing the illustration, you're not doing character work or any animating work for that, but it is something that I've kept in mind ever since he told it to us, and I do think that it does create some dynamic colors, and so it is something to keep in mind. It's not a rule, it's just advice that I have received as a student in art. The other advice I wanted to mention today is that it's alright to make mistakes, and that as artists we usually get caught up on not making mistakes because we don't want to have to be embarrassed by what happens when you do make mistakes. But as I have learned in the world, no one really notices that you make a mistake unless you tell them. And so if it looks deliberate, or if it's in the final piece, they're gonna think that you made that as a choice. You didn't make it as like an oops, I did this mistake. And also, it's alright to start over. It's alright to be really invested in a piece or a part of an image and have to paint over it or start over. In illustration, where you're doing this kind of line art with ink and more permanent colors, or things where you can't just paint over it, I'm not sure how easy it is to start over, but it's alright to start over. We have to learn as artists to not be so attached to the things that we're making that we can't improve them. And so that happens a lot with me. I get very upset about having to, well, I've gotten a lot better at it over the years, but when I first started out, I got really upset that I would work really, really hard on a piece, and I would get a certain, just one spot of it perfect. But in order to salvage the whole painting, I would have to start over. I would have to scrap that piece. I'd have to paint over it and redo it. And the advice that I've learned, and the way that I've made that a lot easier for myself to handle, is that if you did it once, you can do it again. And so if I had to redraw this man, I probably would have been able to. I didn't really want to, and I don't think the mistakes that I made on him are too noticeable, or they're not crippling the image. And this is just for fun. This is just in a sketchbook.
which this is a new sketchbook I was using, and I'm not sure if it was the pencil I was using to do the underwork or if it's the paper itself, but a lot of the graphite for this this image just did not come back up. And so this is a piece that I really do enjoy, and I'm glad that it did turn out the way it did. But again, like I was saying, is that if you do make a mistake and you have to start over, that's all right, because you did it once, you can do it again. I really do think that it's important to be attached to your work, but not overly attached to where if you do have to start over or if you do have to redesign a part of the image in a way that you've already invested so much time in that it ruins your whole day. You want to just evolve and grow with it and take the mistakes or the failures as you see them and take them as a learning opportunity, because there's something that you did the first time that you're not going to have to relearn to do the second time. And so I like to see all of the little failures and the little things that I hate personally going through as a learning opportunity and as a chance to do it again in a better way, because you've already done it once, you're gonna be able to do it again. And that's a really important thing in art, is we make mistakes. At least I do. I make them all the time. I'm constantly making mistakes in my artwork and constantly starting over in pieces that I want to have finalized pieces of. I want to have them in a place where I can either sell them or have them displayed or whatever it is that I'm going to do with the artwork, which right now is mostly just stored away because I recently moved. But whatever the reason is that you want to make artwork, you want it to be fun, and you don't want it to weigh you down and ruin your day or your mood or your week. I really do want to take a moment here and just look at the difference that this blending pencil made on this piece. I think it turned out really well, and it's up until those final moments where not that we're at those final moments yet, but in the final moments before the blending pencil has taken effect, everything still kind of looks rushed, and it could be that I'm just coloring very fast. But everything looks really rushed in this piece until that blending pencil comes on and makes it smooth like butter. And I'm really happy that I did end up getting it and that I have learned to use it. And once again, these pencils are fantastic and they come in all of these beautiful colors. I didn't really showcase a lot of them for this piece because I had an image in mind that I wanted to do. I was going to do another scenery piece, and so maybe I'll do something else with them again, because I'm going to reuse these. Like, I'm going to use all of the artwork that I have and that I've been trying, not the artwork, the art materials for this, and so I am going to be using these colored pencils again, which is why I bought them. I didn't buy them for the video, I bought them because I wanted them, and so I'm really excited to see how they work and see what other imagery I can make for this piece. Not for this piece, but with these items. And it was a lot of fun to use. The colors go on very nicely and they blend really easily. They are a little messier than I would have liked, but again, I think that's just the medium. I'm used to having things be very precise or have it in a style where the precision doesn't really matter. So I paint, and paint is messy, and I'm a messy artist, and so everything I do is messy, and so that could be just me working against myself here, is that I'm a very messy person and I touch everything, and I am resting my hand on this piece and smearing these colors, but I do that with everything, and so it could just be that I'm not used to using colored pencils on their own. In my portrait I did of my friend, I used watercolor and then the colored pencils, and then on that piece specifically I spent like 20 minutes repainting over it and redoing it, and I spent a good time redoing that whole piece because I just kept messing up, but it turned out really well in the end, and so did this, and I'm really fond of this little Billie Eilish cyclops looking character. I really like this character. He turned out very cute, or they turned out very cute. I don't think you can tell if it's
a boy or a girl. Cyclops, I don't know how you would know. And so I really liked this piece. I liked the colors and how they turned out together. And I'm just going to praise my own work for a moment, because you have to be your biggest cheerleader, and because I'm going to own this piece, so I might as well be proud of it. Which is the same with other artwork, that if you're making art and you're not selling it and you're just making it for yourself, you might as well be happy with it, if possible. I know I personally have a lot of pieces that I don't enjoy, which is why my artwork's just in storage right now, but I'm working on getting better at it, because again, you should be proud of what you do and you should be happy that you're making it, and you shouldn't feel tortured unless you are a tortured artist, and that's what. This is the end of this piece. Well, we've come to the end of this piece and the end of my advice, so I do want to thank you once again for being here, for looking at this artwork, and for being a part of this video making process. I do really enjoy learning to make videos and getting to do so, and so I hope that I eventually get to do this as a living, and that this can be what I wanted, like this can be something for me, so I'm not having to do it while doing other things, that I just get to do it. I really do hope that you enjoyed it. I already said that, but I really hope you did, and I want to thank you all so very much for being here. I'll see you in the next video. Once again, like, subscribe, and share this content if you enjoyed it. If you don't like it, hang out for another video and see how you feel. I really like that you're here for this, so thank you once again for being here. And if you have any comments or questions down below, or anything you'd like to see me talk about in the next video, leave it down below and I will do my best. I believe the next piece that I'm going to work on is going to be a more realistic piece. I've done a lot of, well, in the 3 videos I've posted, 2 of them have been not in my normal style, and so I think I'm going to work on a portrait, or I might do my first my first gossip piece or drama piece. I think I'm going to do a piece on one of our YouTubers and just talk about his experience with YouTube and what happened with him and why he was canceled, or held accountable, if you will. But I haven't decided what I'm going to draw for that piece or what I'm going to paint for that piece. I'm thinking I might do a cat because of some of the commentary that happened while he was being canceled, but that might come off a little petty, and so I'm not sure yet, but I'm excited to see.